Rutschman, you talk about that story with his dad throwing to him, and
Yeah.
I know as soon as I watched the highlights, I'm like, this motherfucker should have hit right-handed the whole time. He just seems like righty only knows how to hit home runs. A lot of pressure on the pitcher. This is, I think,
Yes.
my big takeaway every single year is the amount of pressure that is on these fucking pitchers. And I respect and appreciate whenever like Bryce Harper and his dad. I remember that amazing moment.
Yep.
Rutschman last night and his dad. That's an amazing moment. And, this is my coach from college or high school that's coming to throw to me or whatever. And it's like, bro, I don't know if that's who I want floating them in there for me if I'm actually trying to win this thing. It'd be hard not.
I know Mookie did not like whoever was throwing the ball to him. I can tell you that because his pitcher was stink.
That was Alonso.
He was a bum.
That's Pac-Man Jones, obviously 14-year NFL vet, a man who's a Pro Bowl, All-Pro, and a guy that is electrifying on a microphone. And then the man in the cowboy hat over there is one half of the Hammer.
Dahn!
Cowboys, Tone Diggs. Tone, if you were going to be, and you grew up playing baseball, and for those that don't remember, and Nick, you're going to have to help me out here with some of the facts and stats. Tone Diggs was the catcher of a high school baseball team that was number one in the country.
Wow.
They were number one.
Number one in the state.
And country.
What were you guys in the country, though?
Like 21st, something like that.
Jeez.
Okay.
Top 21 in the country.
Top 20, that's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a lot of people play baseball in the country. So top 21 in the country is obviously insane. And Tone was a massive part of that, not only on the field, on the diamond, in the batter's box, but also as a human, the vibes in the background. And
Sure.
first round of the playoffs, that particular team that was the cock of the walk of our high school for a few months, they got 25 runs or something.
No.
Yeah.
I forget the exacts. But Tone, I know if your baseball life would have gone on to become a professional and you would have done a home run derby, are you picking coach to throw you balls? Because I honestly believe the pitcher is an actual tag team partner in his fucking home run derby, and it never really gets talked about until it gets talked about. Like, it gets talked about when Mookie's pissed off. It gets talked about when it's like, hey, we need these pitches a little bit more high and inside. It's like, these motherfuckers haven't thrown 20 consecutive baseballs in maybe 30 years. Like, what are we're expecting them just to be good. I almost feel like you should take it out of the players' hands that they can't pick their dad. Like, hey, we have a new rule. You can't have your high school baseball coach that hasn't picked up a mitt in 4 years. You actually have to have the guy that throws to you every single day because did you hear what he just said about Mookie Betts' pitcher? Like, that guy doesn't deserve that.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right, brutal.
he's not the only one, though, by the way.
No.
These people are being judged. These people are being judged as fucking professional athletes. And I'm like, what a cool moment, but also a nightmare potentially there. If you just, you got to accidentally just get tight in your shoulder a little bit. And that ball, we've seen really good athletes throw opening pitches at games.
Sure.
It's tough.
Really good athletes.
Yeah.
It is not fucking easy just to groove in baseballs. 41 in one round. That means he had to throw like 45 perfect pitches.
Yep.
47 perfect pitches. Like, that's a tough task. Who would you have picked, Tone, if you had to do it? And what do you think they should think about? And should the MLB tell them, no more feel-good shit? We need actual BP coaches or whatever.
Pac talked about Mookie, fucking Alonso's guy, and it's weird there because he's been in it so many times. He's won twice or whatever. He was throwing fucking sinkers low and outside, so Alonso was having a hard time, and he wasn't hitting 41, so that doesn't matter anyways. And I love and I respect Coach, my father.
Whoa.
Okay?
His father's father.
I respect him too. But Coach was always a third base coach because he didn't have the best pitching motion, the best pitching arm, so he was never going to be my guy there. I would just take the guy that would throw me BP every single day because why the fuck wouldn't you? To be honest with you.
But I like the story though. Joining us now is a man who's currently the president of the state of Ohio. A little bit early on this particular Tuesday.
Ooh.
If I'm in that batter's box, because punting and kicking, kind of like a home run derby. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to hit a fucking rocket every single time. So my snapper matters. Like, my snapper matters for rhythm. It matters for, like, off and running. And if my snapper's not good, that fucker's cut. You know what I mean? Like, he is, hey, see you later. In the home run derby, which is the most eyes that a lot of these guys are going to get, they're signing up, like, Evan Fox to throw for them because he's a friend. I'm like, this fucker can't put the ball in. You know what I mean, AJ? It's a weird thing that is cool because it's sentimental, but also it's like, they're about to get cooked. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess you never know until you get out there when the bright lights are on you. Yeah. I mean, it is not an easy thing to do to groove pitches over and over and over again in that stage. But that dude, Adley Rutschman, however you say his last name, the Orioles catcher, that dude was bombing the ball, and his dad was pitching to him, but his dad was like his coach growing up, all of this stuff. His dad was grooving it, and unfortunately, we only got to see him in the first round because old buddy came out and knocked 28 right after he got 27.
I love it. I love his dad doing it. I hope his dad gets on some TRT and everything and is doing this next year.
That's basically what Harper's dad was doing pretty much.
Well, and like you said, Pat, like he was grooving them, but his pace was all fucked up. Like he was kind of like admiring
Rhythm.
Yeah, he was admiring his son's homers, and you could see the catcher kept saying like, "Hey, let's go! You gotta fucking keep throwing him balls because he's in a groove right now." And if he would have, he probably saw 12 less pitches than the guy he was going against did. So like he performed as well as he could have, but he had no chance to actually move on to the next round.
Yeah, and I bet on Rutschman. I love the guy. I really do. I wanted him to do well. There's this cool clip.
Well, this sounds like you don't.
Hold
really.
on. There's this cool clip of him in his first game. He takes his catcher mask off. He looks around the stadium. You can really tell it's sinking in. His dad just needed to shut the fuck up and stop talking while he was pitching him the ball. I don't know if anyone else heard this, but he kept saying, like, good hit, good, stay locked in. But he kind of screwed his kid over. Like, I assume Adley, once he...
this is what I'm talking about.
Well,
this cannot be the conversation.
The
MLB needs to do something for this not to be the conversation. Like, just have an all-time pitcher out there.
Sure. One pitcher for all of them would make sense.
That's a lot of balls, though.
That's a lot of. That guy better juice up his arm.
So then one American League, one National League, maybe one guy for one.
But some
side
of the guys,
the
though, Con, didn't you see, Pat? Didn't some of the guys that were having an off night pitching, some of them were their normal BP pitchers, weren't they? I think some of them actually were.
Yeah, anybody can have a bad night. That's why, like, adding in, like, oh, the guy's 55 years old and hasn't thrown balls in fucking 6 years. Like, I assume, I'm not 100% sure, humans are humans, always have been. There's a chance that the Homo sapien body of the arm gives out. You know what I mean? And if there's, how much money's on the line in this entire thing?
Was it $1 million? Is it $1 million?
I think it's $1 million. Yeah.
I think they get a truck too.
Yeah, and a truck.
I've seen robots hit holes in one, on golf courses.
Yep.
And they do it over and over and over. Why do we not have a robot? Why do we not have a robot?
Tone wants AI to take another job.
I don't.
You're right. No, a jugs machine. What
I don't
about
want the robot
pitching
to have
machine?
a brain. I don't want the robot to have a brain. Okay, I just want the robot to do one thing, and that's one thing only, and that's groove high and inside fastballs. Okay.
But if you got the pitch machine, the batter don't get the rotation of the ball coming out of the pitcher hand. That's a whole lot different than a guy throwing the ball.
Now, it's part of it. I think it's part of it. You're pitching. This is all part of it, I think. Like, you got to, I think it's a variable that they need to have. I think they should continue the way they're doing. And, hey, you got to step up to the plate if you're the pitcher. You got to figure it out.
I agree. It's a tag team, but I just hope the players, actually test their dad or their high school before we get out there in front of the fucking.
Pat, they did that. Rutschman, they said he and his dad were in Yankee Stadium like a couple weeks before working on home run derby stuff and how they were going to do it, I guess.
I love it. I love they're doing that. He had a great performance, obviously.
Yeah. One round.
Pat, you're telling me you wouldn't want Tim McAfee out there on the mound humming balls right over the meatballs for you to just take deep center field?
I love Tim McAfee. Okay.
Of
I love him.
Mm-hmm.
But Tim McAfee ain't won that job either. You know what I mean? Tim would be there. He'd be very supportive. And if I asked him to do that, he'd be like, all right, I'll figure out how to do this. And he'd probably create something that would make his arm be able to be, this makes my arm the most repeatable, like he would do that. Like that is what Tim would do. But I would not want to put my dad in that situation where he's potentially going to get it on the shins.
Yeah.
Real hard. You know what I mean? Let alone me being super competitive. I'm taking, instead of a night off, which a lot of these guys do, I'm getting winded. Those motherfuckers were tired. We're talking. So hey, Dad, I'm trying to win $1 million and I'm working my ass off here. Tim doesn't want to deal with that either. He doesn't want to deal with me going like, Thanksgiving next year, you know what I mean? Christmas,
sure.
New Year's, birthday,
What?
somebody, not me, but somebody's going to be like, so what happened there late, Tim?
Yeah, Tim.
You little
kind of fucked it up.
And it said, well, my machine, I had it. And then I'm going to have to answer. It's like, I love the sentimentalness of it all and I appreciate it. But also, like, let's make sure we're not putting somebody out to the pasture here, too. You know what I mean? Because when it doesn't show up until it shows up.
Yeah.
That's kind of the old saying. You know what I mean? Doesn't show up till it shows up.